Hey everybody, this is Sage Valentine, and this is my review of Season 1, Episode 8 of NBC's Believe, entitled Together. I told you guys I'd do a review, so better late than never. Anywho, last night's episode was pretty awesome, and I'm going to start my review right about now. Okay, we see Bo, and Winter is trying to get her to focus upon the task at hand, which is making water levitate out of a pot, and he's trying to make her turn it into a pyramid. But rather than turn it into a pyramid, she ends up turning it into a face, which reveals her mother's face. So Tate interferes. He's becoming the protective dad, and he's like basically telling Winter to relax, and he wants her to, have a normal life, live a normal life. The problem is that Bo will never have a normal life, regardless of how or what happens within her life. She will always have these powers. She will always have to deal with what comes with it, as well as people like Scorus chasing her basically for the rest of her life until she finally faces him. So, basically, Winter calls Zoe. No, in fact, Scorus makes a discovery that this machine that he's been making can pinpoint on Bo's energy and pinpoint exactly where she is every time she uses her powers. So they basically send a team to the house to get Bo. And Channing is talking to Bo, and she's basically talking about Tate, and she says, you know what, Tate needs a little time to adjust and everything will be all right. These men rush in. So Winter, Tate, Channing, and Bo all have to rush across this little plank bridge, which literally doesn't look safe, but they have no other choice. So they run across the bridge. They make it to the other side of the building, and at that point, that's when the bridge essentially falls apart because Bo makes every plank just fall down to the ground so the team can't get to them. So Winter's calling Zoe to ask about the machine, and she's trying to be all cagey about it, like, oh no, not really, but Winter knows because Winter was there, when they were developing it, I guess, and making the prototypes. So Winter and Channing have to part from Bo or Tate, but he warns Tate, do not let Bo use her power because they can see her. So Orchestra can see everywhere she is, like I said. So Ronan tells Farrell, that Tate is alive, and Farrell doesn't want to hear. Elizabeth Farrell's like, I'm over this. I don't even want to hear this. So Tate goes to Milford. He said that, Tate is explaining to Bo how he met Nina. He said he went to Milford for some type of job. There was a rainstorm. He saw a sign for a psychic. He met this psychic. They fell in love, and he couldn't tell her the rest of it because, it's not for kids, but it's pretty funny because she's just like, oh, just tell me. I kind of already know. But anyway, let's see. They continue the search, but they don't disappear. I'm not even sure what I wrote when I said that. There's a girl named Leeds. This is Leeds, okay? Leeds built a chip to hide telekinetic power from the machine. And the whole thing they have to do is that Channing has to sneak back into Orchestra to put the chip back in. Now, I'm not with it. I'm pretty upset over this. I'm like, listen, I don't want Channing inside of Orchestra because I'm afraid what's going to happen. So anyway, she knows it's a dangerous mission and that there's only one way in and one way out. So basically, we may lose our Channing this episode. So Tate is trying to make Bo's life normal, but the problem is that Bo can feel what everyone else feels, and she wants to help the people. So she pinpoints on this African-American man named Gary and his family, and she can see that he's about to do something bad. So she goes up to him later when the family leaves, and she holds his hand, asks to hold his hand. She sees that he's going to shoot another man in the heart. Bo wants to help him, but Tate is like, he wants her to be normal. Tate has this whole thing of normalcy for Bo, but like I said, Bo will never be normal. So Gary is at his store. He sees a man named Oscar. He's about to shoot. He's like involved with the mob or something like that. I think he owes money to somebody. So Oscar says that Gary has 12 hours to give him something, like I said, money. So Channing is sneaking through the sewer. We see her going like up and climbing up. Gary is near the door, and then he sees Bo and Tate are there, and Bo knows that, In fact, after Gary saw Oscar, he hears the door open and somebody coming inside. He's worried, but then he sees that it's Bo and Tate, and Bo knows that he didn't take that shot. He didn't do it. So Gary took a loan from a loan shark for $100,000, and if he doesn't pay up, his family's basically in trouble. So Bo and Tate all go to Mr. Balfour, the man who Gary borrowed the money from, and they're trying to reason with him, and basically Tate makes a deal that they have to find some type of horse to save the family, and they have 6 hours to get it. It has something to do with some bet that Mr. Balfour had with someone else, and he felt like the bet was a little cagey, so he wants the horse back. So Channing's inside. She sees a guy. She punches him out. They go and Tate and Bo go inside, and they find the horse. Like, they know where the horse is, and Channing finds a panel, and she's successful, but as she switches and puts the chip in, Scorus is in it with some man. They think there's something wrong with the machine. They're looking at it. She's hiding. So Bo is talking to the gentleman who runs the stable. Meanwhile, Tate is in there stealing the horse, and somehow during this encounter, Tate ends up being seen on the, he ends up being seen, you know, on the cameras. So what ends up happening is that Channing is like trying to escape, and she sees Zoe, and Zoe's like trying to tell her, listen, we can help Bo, but Channing's still trying to get away. So the FBI also saw Tate, and they saw Tate and Bo stealing the horse, and we find out that Channing is basically trapped inside of Scorus' an orchestra because she ends up being surrounded. So Bo and Tate are in the truck with Gary, and they're riding in the truck or whatever. And all of a sudden the cops pull up. So they're talking to Gary, and that's when Bo and Tate take off with the horse, and they're riding away. Meanwhile, Gary pulls the truck away. So to make a long story short, in the end, they're able to get the horse back. Bo and Tate somehow end up at the Mr. Balfour's property, his house, and they take the horse back. And then everything is cool for Gary, and they get dropped off by Oscar, and everything's fine. Everything's good. So Scorus' team or whatever, they see some type of weird thing on the machine, and they pinpoint it. So they're going to like this building, or this like, looks like a duplex, a bi-level house or something like, no, it's not bi-level. I think it's like a some type of condo or something, and they go in and they burst in, and they see the energy, and they see this girl just sitting there by herself, and they're like, who are you? Who are you? And she's just looking at them like, what the hell happened? And I'm wondering, is she another person like Bo, or did that chip somehow just move them over there? See, I'm confused about that whole thing. Maybe she could be another kind of like Bo. And then when Tate returns, he tells him that Scorus basically has Channing. And that's basically the end of the episode, which was a really good episode tonight. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed on both hands, that NBC allows this show to keep going on. Because a lot of people are saying, well, you know, it's up against The Returned and such as, and I'm like, listen, if a show's going to go on, it's going to go on. They moved Hannibal from Thursday because of scandals, so Hannibal's still here. So maybe they'll move Believe. Or maybe they may end up moving Returned. I don't know. ABC does some weird stuff with their schedule from time to time. So anyhow, I'm just waiting for the next episode when they finally find Scorus. I'm waiting because it seems like they keep showing Nina, and they keep saying Nina, and I was actually talking to a girl on Twitter, and she was like, you know, Nina's heart monitor went really, really fast, and then it stopped. So I'm still on that whole thing where I still believe that Nina is alive. So with that said, thank you guys for tuning in. Definitely check out my review for the following, Survivor and Hannibal. My next one for Believe, and I am still doing one for Mad Men. Just hold on. It's going to be a little late, but I am doing it. And other than that, thank you for viewing. Thank you for having your opinion. I respect all opinions, everybody's opinion, and I don't argue with people. I'm not here to argue with people. Just thank you guys so much for tuning in, and take care. This is Sage Valentine signing off. Bye, guys. Check the links below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and rate and comment. Bye, guys. Bye.